Good morning, YouTube. It's Pastor Bob. Well, I'm finishing up my doors today. I copped up enough energy to try to finish this off so that way all the doors and everything is done. So I wanted to demonstrate how I do the edges of wood, what bit I use, round over bit, type of sander I use, type of saw I use, and how I make the holes for the pocket doors for the soft close hinges. A couple people reached out to me and asked me what I feel. They watched a lot of videos and they swing by the channel every so often and watch how I do many different things, and they wanted to see how I did it. Well, everybody has their own method, and I try to make it as nice as possible and as quick as possible. I'm doing it for myself, so actually I'm doing it for Mary Ann because she asked me to do it. So I try to, do it the best I can, but I do have great tools. I'm not sponsored by DeWalt, and I'm not sponsored by Milwaukee. If they wanted to, they could, but unless they got a new tool that I don't know about, I probably own just about every tool. Well, not every one, but you know what I'm saying. The ones that you use on an average everyday basis. So, do I use DeWalt because I want to be better than thou? No, I use them because they're great tools, right? That's why I use them. I have tools for, outdoors and things like that I don't worry about breaking. And then these tools are for my wood shop, because when you're dealing with wood, you want to try to get as precise a cuts as possible. And the way the motors drive, the way they engage, they disengage, how true they run a blade, how they run a bit, when you're screwing, all those things are important. So today I'm going to show you a little bit about how I'm doing things. So I'm going to move you up here and I'll explain. So here we go. So as you can see, this is one of the doors that I made. Right? I'm going to use a nice curl around it. Which, if you want to see that be done, I'd be happy to show you. This is made by Kurg, and I'm not sponsored by them either. Okay? And what this is this gives you the precise holes. Now, on these doors, they're 29 inches long. You only need 2 hinges. You don't need 4,962 hinges. You only need 2. And how I do my 2 may be different than others, but I'm going to show you. Anyways, this device countersinks and drills a hole for you. Okay? And you can set the edging, your distance here, and how far in you want your inset for your hinges. Okay? Right here is your adjustments. If you look on the inside, it'll set the difference of the depth of it. Okay? Now, what I do is I line it up with each edge, right? So what I do is I look at the front and I say, okay, which edge do I want? Which it could be any edge. I mean, it's really up to you. Some people are particular. And then once I pick my edge, and it's as simple as this. Now, also up here you have an adjustment collar, right? Now, you can set this adjustment collar based on how much of the depth that you want of the bit, okay, to go in here. And that has to do with the depth of your hinge set, right? So you'll measure this, and then you measure this to make sure that the depth is correct, so that your soft close hinge ends up countersinking flush. Okay? Hope you got that. So let me show you how I do it. So I just line it up. So the beveled edge goes in, right? So the name Kurg should be facing you. And what I do is I line it up on the side, like that. Make sure it's flush. I hold my hand up against it, pushing pressure, and then I push down. Let it run until you don't hear any restriction, and pull it off. It's as simple as that. The only problem that I have with this device, as you can see, you see all that buildup in there? I came up with an idea, but I'm not going to talk about it, on how those chips can extract better. But I'm sure Kurg is going to pay some guy $5 an hour or whatever to do it. So I'm not going to give it to them free of charge. But that's the only problem. When they designed this collar, right, they didn't design it so that the chips would come out and come away from your product. I guess you got to cut corners somewhere. But this device is only about $39 and it saves you a ton of thinking. Now, could I make a jig? Yeah, absolutely. But by the time I bought a really good bit, you know, so by the time I bought a really good bit and made the jig and everything, I'd probably come up with the same price, and it's just as cheap as, you know, buying something like this, quick and easy. Okay? So once again, on the other side, it's just angling, hooking it up on the other side, making sure that it's flush against that edge and flush up against, push in, and it's straight down. So you don't hear no resistance, and pull it out. That's it. That's it. Just simple as that. And then I'll show you the holes. And as you can see, the holes are nice and clean, right? So, there you go. Nice and clean. And that's pretty much how I do it. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Now on the smaller doors, or cabinet doors, like these, if you guys see these, see the small ones? I only use one hinge, right? Now, some people say, oh, well, how does that work? Well, what I do is, I split the difference on a small door. I split the difference, and there's marks on the side here that you can line up for your small doors. You do the same thing. You push in and push down. Simple as that. You only need one hinge, and there you go. Once again, I'll do it one more time. It's always about cleaning the thing out. So I put it up against it. Make sure that I line it up so that I distribute it in the center. Push down until it's clear. And I don't hear any more resistance. And I'm done. Once again, I already came up with an idea for this, but I'm not going to show you guys. I'm not going to give it away for free. I've given lots of ideas away for free, and nobody ever seems to care enough about giving even a tool to Pastor Bob, so I don't do it no more. And it's as simple as that. Now, when it comes to placing your piece, so here's your hinge, right? I don't know if you can see that. Gotta make sure you can see that. Yeah, you guys can see it. Okay, here's your hinge, right? And this is the piece that you put down in there. And that's how you want, that's how it looks. Well, actually, I just screw it in for you. So yes, I have a 20 volt brushless, and then I have a 12 volt max. I use a lot of them. I have every freaking brand in the world, right? So I have Ryobi, which are pretty good tools for the price. I mean, you can't beat the price. Milwaukee. I have Bosch and Dewalt. All the top guys. Right? I mean, I have some other ones too, but those are the ones that I mostly use. So all you're doing is taping, getting it even. That's it. Sock them down in here. You don't have to drive them home, because you just want to get them to a flush. Because what will happen is sometimes if you don't change the torque setting on your tools, whatever you're using, the problem is you will drive this so far down in that it'll bend these edges right here. Okay, it'll bend them down in, and then what it does is it starts to crimp this up. And when it does, it changes how the functionality of your soft close hinge works. So remember that. Just go flush. That's fine. It centers it, it holds it, it's good enough. Alright? Anyways, short little demonstration of what I'm doing. I should pretty much have the cabinets in today, providing my back holds up. I thank you all for stopping by. Take care. God bless. And hopefully I'll see you Sunday. You know, maybe for an auction. All right, guys. I love you all. Take care. God bless. This is Pastor Bob, and I'm out of here. See ya.